my parents always asked me one question after the game, and if I was a good teammate. And I think I never really focused on that until I matured a little bit in life and the game, and I said, was I a really good teammate today? And I think that's just the question I asked myself, whether I did good or bad, is was I a good teammate today?
Welcome to episode 381 of Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast. I'm Joe McFarland. With some warmer temperatures in the forecast, it's almost starting to feel maybe a little bit like baseball weather out there, and we actually have some more live collegiate baseball in this province. We'll get to that in a second, but first the news headlines, and we'll start Major League Baseball, where it was another solid week for a trio of Alberta products. Calgary's Michael Soroka made his second start with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and while it didn't have an immaculate inning like the first time around, he still picked up the W, going 5 innings of 1-run, 4-hit baseball, allowing 3 walks while striking out 3 in a 2-1 win over his old team, the Atlanta Braves. It looks like he's lining up to start again on Friday against Philadelphia if you want to mark your calendars. Edmonton's Eric Sabrowski made yet another 3 relief appearances for the Cleveland Guardians this week, totaling 2 1/3 innings, striking out 4 while allowing just 3 hits and walking none. He's yet to give up a run this season in 7 games, striking out 10 in 7 innings. And a fun fact from former Guardians infoman Luke Petoskey, Sabrowski is the first reliever or pitcher in general in MiLB history to record 70-plus strikeouts and 8 or fewer runs allowed in their first 47 career games pitched. Let me repeat that one for you. In MiLB history. Pretty cool for the Alberta kid. And Dogs Academy alum Tristan Peters had Canadian baseball fans quite conflicted over the weekend when his Chicago White Sox faced the Toronto Blue Jays.
In right field. They're going to wave in Hill. The throw to the plate. Safe! The White Sox walk it off in the 10th. That's how you celebrate a home opener.
That was his first MiLB walk-off hit, and he became the first White Sox player since, get this, Saskatchewan's Joe Erott in 1950 to have his first career RBI be a walk-off hit. Peters is now hitting .267 on the season with a double, run scored, and a stolen base in 11 games. Over to the minors, where things are fully underway now at all levels and quite a few highlights to go through. The Adam Mako watch continues as the pitching struggles of the Toronto Blue Jays continues. The Vauxhall Academy grad is doing quite well in AAA Buffalo right now as a reliever. He's 1-0 with an ERA of 0 in 4 appearances, allowing just 2 hits and 2 walks while striking out 6. Fellow Vauxhall product Garrett Hawkins is also pitching well again to start the season. The bigger Saskatchewan native has made 3 relief appearances so far with the AAA El Paso Chihuahuas, allowing no runs on just 1 hit, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. In AA, Matt Wilkinson made his debut with the Akron Rubber Ducks on Wednesday night.
3-2. Fastball, swinging a foul tip into the mitt, and King launched the bat. 2-2. Taken at the knees.
The 1-2, swing and a miss. 2-2 is a called strike 3. 2-2 is swung on and missed. 2 strikes, here's the 0-2 swing and a miss.
Tugboat went 4 innings, allowing 1 run on 3 hits and 3 walks while striking out 6 in a 4-2 loss to Harrisburg. Meantime, Gavin Logan's making the most of his opportunities in AA with the Amarillo Sod Poodles. The Oyen native and Dogs alum is 3 for 9 with 2 homers and 6 RBI in just 3 games. Dogs Academy alum Eric Hartman is off to a solid start with the High A Rome Emperors.
The 0-1 is a missile sent towards right center. Poole jogging towards the track, looking up, and this one is out of the ballpark. A solo shot for Eric Hartman in the first inning gives Rome yet another lead here this week in Bowling Green. It is 1-0 Emperors here at the top of the first.
The St. Albert native is hitting .250 with 2 doubles, a triple, 2 homers, 4 RBI, and 2 stolen bases in his first 5 games. St. Joe's grad and Innisfail native Nathan Flewelling also has his first High A bomb.
Flewelling, line drive high in the air, deep right field, way back and gone. Nathan Flewelling clears the 13.5-foot tall wall in right center field. A 2-run home run to make it a 4-run frame here in the bottom of the 5th.
The Sylvan Lake Gulls alum is hitting .400 with 5 RBI in his first 4 games with the Bowling Green Hot Rods. And Dogs grad Tyrell Chadwick is off to a great start to his professional baseball career. Drafted by Colorado last summer, he's made 2 relief appearances for the single-A Fresno Grizzlies, going 1-0 with an ERA of 0, allowing just 2 hits and 2 walks while striking out 2 in 4+. To the college ranks we go, and the usual top 5 performances of the week, and it's going to feel a lot like deja vu here as yet another solid week for Dogs grad Will Labonte. For a second straight week, the University of Portland hurler has been named the Conference Freshman of the Week. He went 6 innings, allowing no runs on 2 hits and 3 walks, while striking out 6 in a 3-0 win over Seattle University. Fellow Dogs alum Max Hartman has put himself into the record books at Washington State. The senior is hitting .286 with 2 homers and 18 RBI in 32 games. But what's really impressive, though, is the St. Albert native has 6 triples on the season, which ties him for 5th in a single season, and he's still got a month to play. Vauxhall grad Matthew McKenzie is coming off his best performance of the season at UT Tyler. He went 6 innings, allowing just 1 run on 3 hits and a walk, while striking out 3 in an 8-3 victory over UT Dallas. It's been a while since we last checked in on Medicine Hat's Evan Morrison, and he's still having himself a season at Hastings College. The junior is hitting .380 with 8 homers and 31 RBI in 33 games, including 2 round trippers in his last 4 games. And don't look now, but Saskatoon's Corey Waters is heating up. The Winthrop University junior hit 3 homers and 10 RBI in 3 games this week. He's now hitting .370 on the campaign with 19 RBI. Closer to home, Okanagan College remains at the top of the CCBC through 3 weeks with a 10-2 record, followed by PBA at 9-3 and UFV at 5-3. Edmonton Collegiate is at 6-6, while the University of Calgary's 4-4. PBA claimed 3 of 4 from the Hawks this past weekend, while the Dinos were on a bye week. This weekend, we have more baseball on home turf as the Dinos host the Hawks, while PBA welcomes the Victoria Golden Tide. On the college commitment front this week, Fraser McMillan and Adrian Trujillo of Dogs Academy are both heading to Highland Community College, while their teammate Van Norsworthy has signed on with Umpqua Community College. A couple of big tournament wins for Alberta teams out in BC over the past week. Big congratulations to Dogs Academy on going a perfect 4-0 to capture the Kelowna Invitational. Also a tip of the cap to AHP Academy on claiming the Langley Blaze Easter Classic. They went 5-0, including a 9-4 victory over Gulls Prep in the championship. Baseball Canada unveiling its roster for the junior national team's extended spring training camp, and it features plenty of familiar names. Congratulations to Albertans and friends of the show, Callum Anderson, Gabe Fink, Zach McDonald, Cohen Miller, Josh Mills, Rogan Rivard, and Tay Thierman, as well as Saskatchewan's Aidan Kilshaw, as they all made the cut, as did a few other athletes who moved here to train. The junior national team will play 8 games in Florida between April 15th and 23rd, and of course, we'll be aiming to catch up with a couple of them after that trip. Baseball Sask is hosting ID camps for the 14U, 16U, 19U, and Women's Open teams soon. Head to the organization's social media accounts for the link for more information on those camps. Baseball Alberta, meantime, has ID camps for those teams as well. They'll be in Spruce Grove April 18th and Calgary April 19th. And finally, Little League Alberta will play host to a few Western bracket tournaments in July. The Junior League tournament will be in Langdon, Senior League goes to Fort Macleod, and Calgary will host a trio of events. Head to littleleague.ca for all the details there. All right, that was a lot. So let's take a quick break here on the show, and when we come back, we'll hear from Colin Baxter, Aidan Marien, and Jason Chatwood. This is Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast. Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame legend Russell Martin says the road to Okotoks will change the game in Canada forever.
The cream always rises to the top. You have to challenge yourself as an athlete. You'll see growth coming from tough competition. The goal is to create like this mega championship where the best players compete versus each other. You'll see that the players will develop just through the competition itself. You have to feel those jitters and those emotions, and that's where you get better.
The Road to Okotoks, July 14th to 19th. Get your tickets at theroadtookotoks.ca. Welcome back to Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast, and it's time now for less of me and more of our guests. And we'll start things off in the CCBC, where the University of Calgary Dinos are coming off a bye week. They are 4-4 after their first 2 weekends, and one of their key performers so far has been senior utility man Colin Baxter. He's 2-0 on the young season with a 1.80 ERA, striking out 11 batters in 10 innings of work. He's also hitting .227 with 2 RBI and a stolen base in 6 games. We caught up in the hallways at UCalgary ahead of this weekend's set with the Edmonton Collegiate Hawks. Colin, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So you're coming off a bye week. First off, how happy are you that you're not hopping on a bus right about now to head out somewhere in BC?
Yeah, I love it. The bye week was big. We enjoyed some time off. Hung out together as a team a couple of nights, so it was good to mesh together other than being on the bus. I mean, that's always good team bonding time, but yeah, we're glad to be well rested and not on an 8-hour bus ride.
So you guys are 4-4 through the first 2 weekends, heading out of the bye week now. How are the team vibes? What's everybody feeling after a 500 start?
I mean, team vibes are great. We were pretty disappointed with our 1-3 start against OC, but they're a good ball club, so we weren't hitting the panic button per se. And then we went out to TRU and just played really good baseball for the most part. And yeah, vibes are really good going into this weekend against Edmonton.
It's kind of a good barometer for where you're at, too, because those are 2 teams that were in the championship a year ago, right? So do you take that? I know that there's a lot of turnover on rosters and that, but is that something you're telling, especially the younger guys, hey, we can game with some of the big dogs in this league, so just keep it up, keep growing, and keep learning as the season progresses?
Yeah, absolutely, especially against OC. We dropped that first game after a grueling, actually 12-hour instead of 8. We had to go the long way. And yeah, just telling the younger guys, like, hey, we're a good ball club. Don't panic. We're playing one of the best teams in the league, and yeah, just sticking to our approach and our baseball.
Going into the bye week, was there any big messages or any things that you really felt you needed to work on to make sure that you hit the ground running going into week 4 and beyond?
I mean, we'd like to work on our defense, but with the snow out here, it's been a little tough. But yeah, our pitching is great. Our hitting has been great. It's really just taking care of the baseball. It needs to get a little bit better, but we've overall been playing good baseball.
Is that one thing to kind of get the young guys especially to almost wash some of those inadvertent errors that are bound to happen because, hey, the snow didn't quite melt in this one spot and all of a sudden crazy bounce? Like, I've seen quite a few games where there's multiple errors involved. Like, it's something that you can't dwell on it a whole bunch, can you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially, like, in this season where every game matters. And you're gonna, if you're a better player in the lineup, you're gonna be in the next one. So you can't carry over anything from the first inning to the second and there on.
From a personal perspective, pitching-wise, doing really, really well to start things off.
Thank you.
How are you feeling about your performance to this point?
I'm really happy about it, especially facing 2 definitely offensively inclined teams. I was happy with how I pitched those 2 games. Yeah, I'm excited for Edmonton. Not a lot to say there.
What's been working for you so far?
Honestly, just being able to throw all my pitches, any count, plus minus, in, out, up, down. Not a guy that's gonna throw 88 by somebody up and in, but yeah, pitch contact, get my soft outs, and Ks are up a little bit, which is surprising to me. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just like a testament to hitting my spots and just trusting my stuff, really.
Going into the season, I was asking some people, and they said both you and Ethan Webster had really good off seasons. You were feeling really good about. What was it about your off season that made you go into this year going, I'm feeling good about where I'm at?
Yeah, I think one thing really is just like a growing up maturity thing. Like I said, I don't really throw all that hard, but coming up with the Dinos, I've always wanted to throw harder. And I'm in my 5th year, and I'm like, all right, well, this is what I have. Like, let's go with my stuff. I still have great stuff. I'm not worried about adding miles an hour at this point in my career. So, yeah, really just trusting what I have in this moment and that it's good enough to get the best of any guy in this league out. And, yeah, a big part of that was we went down to Arizona. I had a great start down there. I know against my own guys, like, sometimes it's tougher. They see you a lot more. But, yeah, I pitched well, and Yeah, excited.
Going into the year, did you have any goals or expectations of yourself going in? Like, hey, I want to do this. Maybe it's numbers-wise, maybe it's just overall performance, maybe it's an innings number. Did you have anything in mind?
Not statistically, no. I try not to put any like numbers to my game. Obviously, on the hitting side, I just want to be making hard contact anytime I'm up there or doing a job. If there's a guy on third base, less than 2, something like that. On the pitching side, it's really just making good pitches in big spots, not leaving it over the heart of the plate. Yeah, I'm not trying to put any innings, strikeouts, ERA numbers on myself.
As a utility guy, did you find yourself focusing on one aspect of your game over another during the offseason, or was it like, hey, all hands on deck, just do whatever I got to do?
Yeah, I mean, as a 2A, it's tough. I have to say it's taken me 5 years now to like find a good balance between the two. When I was younger, I definitely put a bigger emphasis on the hitting side, just because that's what I was getting more time on the field for. But yeah, this offseason, it was pretty 50-50 split, maybe even a pitching side a little bit more, because I had a conversation with Cam and Jordy at the start of the offseason about my role and what that would be going into this year, and that starting was on the table, so I really worked hard for that.
Good stuff. Final question on the season to this point. What would it mean to you to take home a CCBC championship with use Calgary again?
Yeah, I would love it. I mean, we got our first ship for the Dinos. Excuse me. And that was really special. It was a lot of fun. And I will never forget that moment of winning, but I want it again so bad. And funny, I was having a conversation with one of our younger guys the other day. And they were like, what would you do to win? It was a crazy conversation. I won't share what was said there, but yeah, it was just like pretty much anything. Like, I want to win really bad. And I think everybody else on the team really does too. I think it's win, and there's kind of no other option.
Does it change your perspective, I guess, on that side of it when you know you're not guaranteed a spot in that final 6?
Yeah, totally. I mean, like I said earlier, just taking it pitch by pitch, out by out, inning by inning. But yeah, especially telling the younger guys, like, not to put pressure on yourself, but every game does matter this year.
Yeah.
And Cam is a big, like, get everybody in the past, and like, I praised him for that. Like, it's good to see younger guys getting innings, quote unquote, get your feet wet. But this year, it's like, we got to win, and we got to win now. So if you're on the bench or you're not playing as much as you like, still having a positive attitude and being a team player is really important. And I think everybody on the team has really embraced their roles and been just overall great teammates.
Absolutely. I love getting into the baseball pass side of things. So you're originally from North Van. How does a guy from North Van end up getting into baseball?
Honestly, can't remember what sparked my interest, but I've played ever since T-ball and all the way up. My mom was a huge Blue Jays fan, and she coached me all the way until I was 12.
Cool.
So yeah, I guess she was the reason I got into it at the start, but as soon as I was out of like that, you're just playing for fun as a kid kind of thing, I was very competitive. Well, I'm just a competitive person overall, but especially in baseball, I was super serious about it from maybe 10 years old. I was always playing Little League All-Stars and trying to be the best on those teams and helping the team win, and then so on. Yeah, after Little League, I played for the North Shore Twins for my whole high school career, and then, yeah, I ended up here.
Shout out, Mom.
Yeah, absolutely.
The key to everything that happens in life is good old Mom. Was there a moment, you mentioned it, like there's a moment where it kind of flips for you, where you go, hey, this is a fun game, to, hey, maybe I can do this for a while longer. Do you remember that moment? Was there a time where you went, okay, I want to chase that dream?
Yeah, when I was, like I said, when I started taking it seriously, I don't know, 9, 10 years old, one of my best friends at the time, his dad had played for the North Shore Twins, and we went out and watched a game, and I was like, wow, like, I really want to go play in the PBL. So I made that my goal for a while, and then I found out when I was 12, I had that weird Little League birthday where you couldn't play.
Right.
But I was in grade 7, so I was too young to play for the Twins. So I went out and tried out anyways. They let me redshirt. I got to play in exhibition games and tournaments. So that was really cool just to be able to like get in there. It was weird pitching from 56 or whatever it was, going from the Little League distance. But yeah, I played a season of Burnaby Braves. Met a lot of friends there, guys I'm still in touch with, and then went on to Twins.
Very cool. You mentioned the Blue Jays. Are they your team of choice still to this day?
Absolutely, yeah.
Whose poster was up on your wall as a kid?
My grandpa actually worked for the Toronto Star back in the day. So I have some pretty cool pictures and posters of their World Series runs.
Oh,
so
awesome.
I have a whole mural of that 92 team, and then I have a Roberto Alomar one as well.
It's not a bad one at all. Was he your go-to guy then?
Yeah, I played infield back then, so I thought he was pretty cool. Loved the style on the field that he played with. As I got older, definitely a Joey Bats guy. And then now I'm a Vladdy. Yeah.
Not a bad run of guys, that's for sure, eh, when you think back on it. When you look back on your young career to this point, do you have a favorite memory or moment that really stands out to you where you had to go, take that step back and go, all right, this is kind of cool?
What's the age range? What do
you can go
want?
any age, any range, any moment.
Maybe in grade 9, or grade 8, we're in provincial semifinals against the Langley Blaze. Bottom 7, 1 out, guy on third, base hit to walk it off, send us to the finals. Ended up winning. That was pretty sweet.
That's okay.
I remember our head coach, John Hart, at the time, he's like a Canadian baseball legend. Yeah, and he was just like praising us for our like dedication in that game and like all the hard work that we got there. I was just sitting there taking a knee. I was like, wow, this is awesome. This is pretty cool. This is what I play for.
Absolutely. On the flip side, we all know baseball's a game of failure. What's that one hurdle or that one challenge you're really proud of yourself that you were able to overcome?
Maybe it wasn't a moment overall, but in my first year here, I made the team as a freshman. Super excited. Had a good first weekend, and then a horrible second weekend. And as it is with freshmen, no diss on Cam, but you have a shorter leash, so he sent me down to JV for a weekend or 2, maybe 3, and then I came back up and just started raking from there. I think my point streak stats were split for some reason. They had a pre-sent down Colin and a after JV Colin, and I think I hit like 400, 420 or something in that coming back with a bunch of doubles, and that was a big, like, I can compete in this league moment.
Nice wake-up moment, I suppose, for you to a certain extent, too. And especially as you get older, I'm sure you probably, I appreciate it. At the time, I probably hated the idea, but looking back on it, probably served you well and was a teachable moment. Right?
Yeah, I wasn't happy in the conversation with Cam, for sure. I was like, man, like, I can play better than these guys, but I absolutely needed it. And on the pitching side, I think that same weekend, maybe I was compounding issues, but that same weekend I go in the game, bottom 10, I believe, ghost runner on second, botched bunt play by myself, hit by pitch, walk-off single.
Oh, jeez.
And that was not good.
Just a bad mojo of a weekend.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me how guys can recall specific moments. Like it's so vivid to this day, right? Like you probably got a million moments like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I can remember every at-bat of our championship run, or honestly any at-bat of any playoff game that we're in. Like, it sticks with you, sure. In big games, you can remember every moment or what you were thinking in that moment, what the score was, what the count was, all that.
Unreal. A few fun ones before we let you go. First off, what's your walk-up tune?
Without Me.
Oh, wow. Going back a ways. I like that one.
Yeah, I had it in my first and second year, and then I switched it up in third year. Didn't hit well, so I'm back to it for the last 2 years.
Baseball players are a creature of habit, I swear. When you're at the ballpark as a fan, what's your go-to food?
Probably hot dog.
Now, what's the condiment of choice on the hot dog?
Ketchup, mustard.
Ketchup and mustard. All right, you're high five to the and. Because ketchup and mustard can be very, very controversial.
Really?
So some people love ketchup and hate mustard or vice versa. Very few I know are willing to do both, and I'm one of them. So as mentioned, a high five. And finally, we were talking off air about the future endeavors. You're in your 5th year here at the University of Calgary.
Yeah.
You're going somewhere. Tell us a little bit about your trip to come here and what you're planning.
I'm going to Edinburgh in Scotland to study physiotherapy for 2 years. Yeah, I'm super excited. It's going to be fun.
I'm interested to hear back from you when you're through your first year, whether there's a baseball scene in Scotland. I have no idea.
I have
but
no idea.
It's one of the fun perks of traveling.
Yeah.
2 final ones before we let you go. First off, for those young kids who are just starting out on their baseball journeys and they want to get to where you're at now, what's that one piece of advice, those words of wisdom you'd love to impart upon them?
I mean, obviously, try your best and compete and, all that, but have fun at the end of the day. Baseball's a sport. It's meant to be fun and enjoyed, so don't take it too seriously. I mean, I'm sure guys on your podcast have said this before, but baseball is a game of failure. Just take your errors and strikeouts with a grain of salt and move on.
For sure. And finally, the hardest one, it seems like for a lot of people, what's the game of baseball mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. Honestly, it's taught me a lot of things. It's taught me good teamwork, working with guys you may not personally agree with, and also making friendships that will last a lifetime. Yeah, I don't know, that's hard to answer. It's honestly just made me who I am today, and I can't thank the sport of baseball enough for it.
Well, we can't thank you enough for spending a little bit of your time, especially as you're down for studies and that kind of stuff in between classes and the like. So, Colin, again, really appreciate you taking the time. Congrats on all the success to this point. Continued success this season and beyond with UC. And again, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
All right, yeah, thanks, Joe.
Next up, we head to the U.S. college ranks and catch up with Saskatoon's Aidan Marien. The freshman catcher is off to a phenomenal start at Hutchinson Community College, hitting .409 with 3 homers, 28 RBI, 52 runs scored, and 18 stolen bases in 37 games. We've had the chance to chat with him over text for a couple of stories in the past, so it was good to put a voice to the name and have the Barry's Academy product here on the show, where he showed off a ton of energy and a genuine love for spreading the gospel of baseball in his home province. Aidan, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Thank you for having me on.
Quite the run you've been on at Hutchinson. The numbers speak for themselves, so I'm always curious, how are you feeling about your performance to this point?
Feel really good coming in, kind of surprised myself a little bit, and things got hot. Been playing a lot of games, so that always helps being in the lineup every day, but kind of said, surprised myself, starting hitting leadoff, something I've never really done in my life, but things started going well, and I just kind of took it around with it, and it's been going well ever since.
What goes through your mind? You were telling me off air, it was game 3 of the season when you look up at the board, and there you are, your name in the leadoff spot. Was there a bit of panic that set in, or were you like, all right, let's just go with it?
I wouldn't say panic, but definitely surprised, I showed up to the diving that day not knowing if I was even going to be playing, and kind of after BP, the lineup goes up, and I saw myself hitting in the leadoff spot and kind of said, something I've never really done before. I'm not your typical leadoff guy, not your short second baseman, fast guy that can run, but like I said, kind of just went with it. I like to think of myself as someone who likes to have some tough ABs, and going into the leadoff spot did well, and kind of just hopefully done my part and set the tone for the team, and it's really helped, and it's really gone well so far.
Did it change your perspective or change your approach at the plate at all, knowing that you're the first one up? Because it kind of sets the tone a little bit. Or do you just go in and say, I got to be myself and do what I can do?
A little bit of both, for sure. I mean, I wouldn't say approach standpoint. I mean, going up to the plate, I'm thinking the same thing every time, just trying to hit a line drive off the pitcher's head. But like I said, kind of changed the way I present myself in the box. I mean, moved up to the white line a little bit, kind of got on the plate a little more, just knowing that I got the big dogs behind me, and just kind of trying to get on base for them and trying to get on second base, whether that's a walk and a stolen base or a double in the gap, either way. So I'm trying to get on base for those big guys.
From a plate appearance perspective, we'll talk about the behind the plate stuff in a second, but what's been key to that success when it comes to swinging the bat and getting on base and stealing a bunch of bags too?
I think just coming in, just being the same guy every day. I think I got here and I built a strong routine and just stuck with it. I mean, I'm a very routineful guy. I like to do the same thing every day. I think that's just really helped me and really helped from a team standpoint, too, is kind of setting the tone like that.
You also get to set the tone behind the plate as well as the catcher on this team. How happy are you with your performance behind the dish?
It's been pretty solid so far. I mean, some things could go differently, but obviously, like I said, I kind of shifted my mentality going from the fall. Really had a really good catching coach, and he kind of took a new job at semester, which was surprising to me, but also I was really happy for him. And obviously, I was a little sad about it, but he kind of just shifted my perspective of not looking at the game from a game standpoint, just taking it one pitch at a time, you know. From a catcher, I mean, your job is kind of steal pitches and keep the ball in front. And, you know, sometimes some gets past you or you lose a strike. And if you just look at that from a game standpoint, you kind of dwell on those little things. But if you take it one pitch at a time, it's really easy to move on and go get the next one.
For sure. And it probably doesn't hurt the situation either that you've got a guy that you've caught before and are pretty familiar with as well, up on the bump every 4 nights or so. How cool has it been to have Merrick Yeager on the bump with you?
It's been awesome. I mean, he's been really good. Coming in, I didn't know if I would get to catch him too much, just not knowing if I was going to be the game 1 guy or the game 2 guy, and knowing he was going to come in and have a good shot at being the ace. But, I mean, he's also my roommate, so seeing him every day and just being on the same page has really helped, and I think he's done really well, and I think just him doing so well has kind of led to my success, and we just kind of build off each other that way.
When you look at the way that you approach this season as a whole, were you expecting to make this big of a difference right out of the gate?
Not at all. I mean, I came to JUCO knowing that I was even the best shot to play, but coming in, you come on a team that starts the season ranked at 22, you know, it's going to be always tough to be an everyday guy, but when I got my chance, I kind of just took my opportunity and ran with it and kind of just try to be the best team guy I can and help the team as much as I can.
You're certainly doing that. I mean, you guys have a record 30-9 as we record this overall. You're 12-4 in conference. What are the vibes like in that room right now as you guys look at a pretty good ranking right now?
I think this past week was kind of shaky, but, I mean, one thing about good teams and great teams is great teams know how to respond. And I think this is the team that can do that. I think we started off hot and then kind of got punched a little bit there, but, I mean, that's all right. I have full faith in the locker room and a lot of confidence in the locker room, and this team's really built on strength and trust with each other.
Mm-hmm. Just a month until playoffs already. Hard to believe it. What's the message in the room maybe as you go into some pretty tough matchups to round out the regular season?
Taking it one day at a time, I'd say. From the get-go, we had one goal in mind, and that was 3 dog piles. Win the conference, win the Region 6, and win the World Series. You can't get to the Region 6 or the World Series if you don't have a good shot at winning the conference. And I think we're in a great position for that, but I think just taking it one day at a time. I mean, like tomorrow we got Barton. It's going to be another tough matchup, but I think you play a doubleheader every day, and I think you can't win the doubleheader with trying to win pitch 1. You got to win pitch 1 and win game 1 and then move on to game 2. And like I said, taking it one day at a time and one game at a time, one pitch at a time has really helped this squad.
I know you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself, but have you thought about that possibility of going the distance, and what would it mean to you to maybe make a trip to the JUCO World Series and do those 3 dog piles?
It'd be a dream come true, honestly, especially with these guys. Is you kind of talk about and kind of mentioned yesterday is like at the end of the day, you only have a month left with these guys, and some of these guys you may never see again in your life. And that's really kind of let that sink in. It kind of sucks, but it just makes you cherish every day with these guys a little more. And like you said, going the distance would be incredible. It would be really, really, really cool to see, and no other group I'd rather do it with.
Fantastic stuff. Hey, I love getting into the baseball past, and so you're a product of Saskatoon. How'd you get into baseball in the first place?
I think from a young age, my dad just tried to throw me in every sport he can, throwing skates on me and picking up baseball, and I kind of got to that age once I started playing baseball in the winter that I was going to be better at baseball than hockey, so I kind of gave up hockey and I was baseball and started playing academy, and just, like I said, from a young age, trying to be the same guy every day and work my tail off and earn spots on teams like Team Saskatchewan and just going from there and finally being able to achieve a baseball scholarship and keep going from there.
We will definitely talk about the academy, and we'll talk about repping Sask in a second, but I'm curious, was there a moment for you where you had to take that step back and go, okay, I'm pretty good at this game, I really want to chase it?
Yeah, I think once it was grade 8, grade 9 year, I kind of realized that I saw a quote and it said, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And then I started taking math class a lot more seriously and stuff like that a lot more seriously because I really wanted to get good at the game of baseball, but I said I couldn't put half in these other things if I was going to put all in baseball. I think it has to be a routineful thing, and you got to do the same thing with everything. And with that, I said around that age I want to be a pro baseball player, and I know that you can't just be a pro baseball player in grade 9, so I knew that taking the right steps to go in that direction has really helped me and continued my path of the game.
Was there a guy that you had a poster up on the wall of, or a team that you always had to watch on TV?
I'm a big Yankees fan, but my favorite player was always watching Yadi Molina. Because one thing about Yadi is he wasn't the best hitter, but he was the coach on the field, and he always knew what he was doing, and he always knew what everybody else would be doing. So I kind of took after him, and I think his leadership really helped him throughout his career and helped him be one of the best pitchers of all time, I think. But just watching some of the sneaky plays he did, like backpicks when guys were looking and stuff like that, I think I really try to incorporate that in my game, and I think learning from him was really cool to watch, and that's also another reason I wear number 4 and try to wear number 4 every year.
That is pretty cool. You've mentioned you've been able to rep Baseball Sask at Nationals as an example. That's when we first kind of caught up with you in text form. When you look back on those opportunities to wear the green and gold, what did that mean to you?
Just grateful. That's the word that comes to mind. Grateful and blessed. I think there's not a ton of opportunity in Saskatchewan to put on that green and gold and go super far in baseball. I think just trying to pave a path for younger kids and throwing the green and gold every day is just super grateful opportunity. I think going into those big tournaments, we're always an undervalued team, a team that flies under the radar, and you kind of saw that in the kind of games this past year. No one probably expected us to win a bronze medal or even beat Quebec 2 out of 3, and I think that's really important for the province and really important for the baseball and the young kids that want to pursue that dream.
As a guy who's in the middle of that, and I've been talking about, the Blue Jays bump and talking about the growing popularity of baseball, especially in the Prairie provinces over the last few years here. What's that like being at the front door of that and getting to see sort of the growth of the game through your eyes? What are you seeing as a player in the game?
I think it's really important. I think the coaches have done a great job, but I think from a standpoint of me and the teams I've been on, is role model is a couple words that come to mind. Just being a role model for other kids and younger kids that want to put the work in and want to put in the green and gold one day. To me, it's just another opportunity, but I don't really see it through their type of shoes. And to them, it's like they think this is really cool. And seeing us play for the green and gold, they want to do that one day. And I think paving that path and showing them that they can do it too is really important and has really helped younger kids in the sport.
You mentioned the mentor side. Who is yours?
I think my roommate, honestly. I mean, he doesn't play the same position with me, but he's the same grade as me, but he's always older than me. And he went on a lot of fast trips, and just watching him and growing up and guys like that, the guy, even just the age group older than me, and always wanting to win a spot against them, and even sometimes take a job, as bad as it sounds. But I think that they've really helped me want to play for the green and gold, and I think just playing for Greg has been really, really, really grateful for me.
Another opportunity that you've had over the course of your young career, playing with Barry's Academy. What did that program mean to you and your development as a ball player and also as a human being?
I think it was huge. I think that's where I took my first big step in baseball, and I think coming over to the Barry's Academy is really important for me and really helped me get to Hutchinson. I mean, without them, I don't think I'd be here at all. And just being the first year of that program really helped them. And I think now that I'm not in the program anymore, but I can still play a big part in wanting kids to go to the program, and maybe parents see something like that and, this is what they're producing. These are the people they're producing. Let's put my kid there. And I think that's really important for the academy, but it's also really helped me. And again, the same two words come to mind, just very grateful and very blessed.
Absolutely. On the flip side, we all know baseball is a game of failure. What's that big challenge or hurdle that you're really proud of yourself that you were able to overcome?
I think baseball is just a game of learning, and I think there's been, I would say my first year midget. I mean, I had a really good second year in Bantam. I hit a lot of home runs, and moving onto a bigger field, and you can't hit those same home runs that you hit at Nintendo on a smaller field like that. And I think I struggled in my first year, but I think that was really important to my progress and my success so far, because without that type of failure, is like if things were just easy, everybody would do it, right? And I think me just pushing through there alongside some of my best buddies was super important and really helped me get to the next step.
For sure. A few fun ones before we let you go here. First off, any superstitions or things that you got to do, whether it be before, during, or after a game?
Yeah. So one superstition I kind of developed this year is my locker has to be clean the night before every game. So my jersey and the jerseys we're wearing, the pants we're wearing, the belt we're wearing, and the hat we're wearing, and the socks we're wearing all have to be on the same hook. And then the practice stuff on the right side, and then the other game day jerseys on the left side, and then just my bag in front, my gloves on the locker, and that's just one superstition I like to roll with.
Attention to detail, very much appreciated, I think, in a lot of areas, especially in baseball. When you're on the bus, what's your go-to activity? Are you a earbuds in kind of guy? Are you a talker? Are you a prankster? What do you like doing?
Earbuds. I don't like to talk to anyone on the bus. A lot of the guys love to play Mafia. Not a big Mafia guy just because I'm not that good at it. I'd rather just throw some country music on, throw some rap music on, just kind of sit there and look out the window and just, whether we're going to the game or going home, maybe complete some homework if I need to.
Speaking of the tunes, what's your walk-up tune?
Money for Nothing by Dire Straits.
So you went from country and rap to, we're going to play some classic rock as well. Like, can you say eclectic, maybe?
Yeah, not a big rock guy, actually, but I saw it on social media one day, and I rolled with it, and I knew I was going to stick with it when another kid on the team texted me saying that was my walk-up song, so I knew I couldn't give it up.
Fair enough. Two more before we let you go here. First off, for those young kids who are just starting out on their journeys, you've talked about them a little bit here, and they're looking up to you, and they're going, hey, I want to be like him one day. What's that one piece of advice or those words of wisdom you want to impart upon them?
I think it's really cool to see that kids looking up to me and the team and other kids, and I think one piece of advice is just never give up. I mean, it's cliche, but I think if you can come in and be the same guy every day, good things will happen. I think if you can, no matter if the swing's off, your arm's sore, whatever, if you can come in and be the same guy every day and just compete, at the end of the day, just compete, good things will happen. I think if you can take that and roll with it, you're going to be a really good ball player and also a really good person one day.
You've certainly done that in spades. Final one, it's one we ask everybody. What does the game of baseball mean to you, Aidan?
I mean, it's my identity, but it's my life. I mean, everything kind of revolves around baseball. I mean, the reason I go to school is to play baseball. The reason I go to the gym is to help with baseball. And I think, to me, baseball is super important to me, and it's a big part of my life. But I also think it's taught me a lot of life lessons that way. And I hope not only can I be a great baseball player, but I hope one day I can pan out to be a really good human. And that's one thing my parents always preached to me, is they never cared how I played or what happened. And all those times I came home and complained about the umpire and it was his fault or it was his fault, my parents always asked me one question after the game, and if I was a good teammate. And I think I never really focused on that until I matured a little bit in life and the game, and I said, was I a really good teammate today? And I think that's just the question I asked myself, whether I did good or bad, is was I a good teammate today, and did I do my best to help the team win? And I think that's super, super important, and I'm really happy that they instilled that to me at a young age.
Not just a great teammate, but also a great guest here on the show as well, Aidan. Congrats on all the success to this point. Continued success at Hutchinson and beyond. And again, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
And we'll wrap things up this week as Ian and I hit the road to Central Alberta on Tuesday for the annual Sylvan Lake Gulls Hot Stove. It's a chance for season ticket holders and sponsors to hear from coaches and players about last season and what's to come this summer. One big change, of course, will be, for the first time in franchise history, a new head coach, as Jason Chatwood stepped down during the offseason to focus on being the Gulls' GM, which also allows him to spend more time with family. The Gulls came within one pitch of winning a championship last season, and Chatty says 2026 is a new summer. So as easy as it would be to let it linger, it's time to focus on the task ahead. Jason, welcome back to the show. It's weird to me to not say, Coach, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Is it as weird for you thinking, hey, I'm not going to be in the dugout for game one of the 2026 WCBL season?
Yeah, I think so. I think it hasn't officially hit me yet because I think nothing, on my end of things, nothing has really seemed different. I'm assuming when the players start arriving and then that buzz around town starts coming, it's going to be different. But excited about my new role, excited for the new coaching staff and their opportunity, excited kind of what we've built. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie, it's gonna be hard, and it's gonna be, there's gonna be some emotions in there, especially for that first game. And haven't seen a game or watched a game in a different place other than being on that field in the dugout. So that'll definitely feel different for me. But something that I think it's good time for me and my family to make this move.
Mm-hmm. I was going to mention that's one of the big reasons behind the move, obviously, is you've got some kids that are getting into their activities, that kind of stuff. How excited are you to be a part of that life as well? Because I've seen it in your eyes, and I think I've said it on this show before, is I remember a moment a couple of seasons ago, you were just coming off a loss, you're like, give me a second, there's fireworks going off, and you're enjoying it with your kids.
Yeah.
That's got to be a real big motivator.
I do, right? So it's like we're going to be in my oldest son, Tucker, we're going to be in the minor ball scene with Baseball Alberta, the 11U, so get to go start traveling and getting to coach him. So, we've had a couple practices with his team already, so I think his season will have started already before the Gulls season, so I think that's going to help me transition even more. But yeah, I'm just excited to be able to spend that time helping coach and being around home, but really, really excited to still be at the ballpark and try to be around as much as I can and help with pregame and batting practice and supporting the coaching staff and still getting to know the players and building those relationships with them and helping them in any way that I can for their season to be successful. So I feel super fortunate and about the opportunity, and I'm very excited for our whole organization and Matt and Wyatt and Andrew, and I think that's where I'm not as nervous because Matt and Wyatt have been there. They've been there and they've experienced it. So it's like handing it over to these guys. I feel very, very, very good about things.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk about the season coming up in a second. I do want to touch briefly on 5 years as head coach. I asked it on stage. I'll ask it here as well. When you look back on the 5 years as being head coach, what sticks out to you? What are you most proud of what you were able to accomplish in those 5?
Yeah, I think honestly. I feel like we were competitive right since day one, and I think that's something that we strive for and we wanted to, and I think that not a lot of people maybe expected us to kind of do what we did early and to be considered a rival with Okotoks kind of right early there and have some of those battles. I mean, considering what they've done in the past is like, it's and you build those relationships with the players and the other coaches, right? So it's just like there's a lot of respect amongst the league, and like I said, last year was huge for us. We were able to kind of make that step and take that hump and able to win the West. And but yeah, I mean, you look back and we've had some special moments. We've had some of those walk-off wins and like those rivalry games, and you have some heartbreakers. And but yeah, and seeing some players that have gotten opportunities to go on to play pro ball and get drafted and following their careers. So yeah, I think it's hard to sum up what 5 years. It goes by fast, right? And it's but yeah, I just think kind of where our organization is right now and where we're trending. I'm very, very excited for the future.
Mm-hmm. Let's get into this coming season now. What's your big message, or what's been your big message to especially the coaching staff right off the bat to kind of set the tone, or are you letting them kind of just take the ball and roll with it a little?
Yeah, I think they know, I'm very vested and I'm going to be a big part of it, and I'm going to be around as much as I can, and I want them and the players to know that and to support them, and obviously I'm going to let them do their thing. But there's a style of baseball that we want and expect our players to play, and we want to play hard, and we want them to be good teammates and care about the community and play and do what it takes to be successful and win. So I think that, and I think our guys, when we recruit them, they know that. And I think, seeing last year's success, I think that we're going to have a really good core group of players returning. So I think that when you have those leaders in the clubhouse on the field, it's going to help speed things up, in my opinion, as far as helping the new guys along and, discussing and telling them about the road trips and kind of what travel looks like in the schedule and everything like that. So yeah, it's really excited about kind of where we are with the roster right now, and obviously things are always changing, but I think that we've had a really good offseason and really happy with the core group we're having back, and then a lot of the newcomers as well.
Really interesting mix. One name that sticks out right off the bat, Cooper Cezelski. What does adding him to the mix bring to your squad?
Yeah, I think it's just, you know what I mean? Like I said, a former MVP and a major impact player for us, and an awesome locker room guy, and someone that was, a huge part of our success that year, that we were able to have the win record and stuff like that. But I think you just know you're going to have someone that's going to give you quality at bats. You have a guy that puts the ball in play and obviously has the opportunity to hit for some power too. But yeah, just plays hard every day. So I think you get that back is huge, mixed with some of our other pieces. But yeah, he was really, really excited. That was able to work out for him to come up this summer, and he's in a good spot right now playing in Southeastern and Florida. So yeah, I'm excited to kind of see where he's at, and he's healthy and kind of ready to go.
Was there anything when you entered the off season that you circled on your to-do list and went, this is what we need to get us over that hump? Or was it more of a, okay, let's just continue doing what we're doing, lean on some of these guys who've got some veteran experience, find some new guys? What was the mindset walking in to try to up the ante in 26?
Yeah, I think like you try to piece together right away on guys that you'd like to return. And obviously it's like you want to be as strong as you can up the middle, and build as much as you can up the middle, obviously with catching, pitching, our middle infield, center field, and then you're trying to build those guys and kind of branch off to the corners. But yeah, I think that we had some guys right away. Trip obviously trying to get him back, and I think that he'll have an even bigger role and his experience, and he's off to a great start at school this year. So having those guys that really want to come back, and they got to taste that. So I think we have a lot of pieces on the mound. I think we're going to be deep in the middle and athletic. I think we have a bigger park. So for us too in the outfield is having that speed to kind of cover as much ground as we can. And I think we have the ability to hit. I think this year we've it's an experienced league, so I think if you get those experienced guys, and we have some older guys that we're excited to add, and guys that are excited to play, and so yeah, it's the big thing is we have some guys at schools right now that their schools are doing extremely well. So you're trying to manage, if they have deep playoff runs with their schools, you're going to kind of have to alter some roster things on that front of it. But yeah, I think it's a really, really good balance of some speed. I think we have some power and guys that can play multiple positions, which is going to be huge. Speaking of huge, you had a couple of young men up on this stage earlier. The 19U squad's doing pretty well for itself in the early going here. How proud are you of seeing that program flourish? But also, in a selfish kind of way, you're probably looking at that squad going, hey, I got some guys who can fill some gaps for the college team come the summer. Yeah, and you know what? Like, really happy for these guys, and I think that it shows kind of Central Alberta, like, kind of where we're at. And I think obviously the Gulls have had a huge part of that in growing the game in Central Alberta. But obviously, like, the talent level is very, very high, and I think they're showing that they can go compete at that top stage. And obviously, Daryl and Dane are huge pieces of that. And yeah, I think that, like you said, you just feel a little bit better when you know that you have some guys that can step up, whether it be the start of the year or towards the end of the year, to fill some gaps, whether it be an injury or players have to leave early for school and stuff like that. And had some players last year like Dane and Braxton Bussing, and some guys that got to experience some games and got to contribute a little bit. So like, I think those guys that seen it last year, they want to earn a bigger role and try to. Some of these guys, I know they want to show that they can play at this level. So I think for them, it's kind of a balance of that too. So yeah, very, very exciting. And it's just like I said, that the game and baseball in the province of Alberta right now is as good as it's ever been. It's got to be kind of proud papa for you to a certain extent, because you've got Daryl, who won the Derby this past year. You had Flew do it a couple of years ago. Like, you got to be smiling from ear to ear when you're watching these guys do what they do. Yeah, it is, right? And it's funny, right? We have some guys they're strong and they're powerful and they hit some home runs. But if you were to talk to guys about what we're working on in the cage and the approach, it is like low line drives up the middle. They think it's boring, but obviously those guys, it can translate. So yeah, obviously Nathan and kind of what he did, and obviously getting to follow him, and he's already been able to hit one this year. And then, like I said, you got Daryl and other guys that have the ability to hit for high power. It is cool, and it's cool to see these kids go perform on bigger levels and bigger stages and represent our school and our program and the Gulls prep team and their communities too. It's pretty cool because a lot of these guys are we still feel kind of like that Central Alberta small town feel.
You're at the grassroots with your kids and watching the local programs develop. You're at, you've got the prep team, you've got the Gulls. What's that mean? Like, I saw a picture this winter of Matt Kootenay in the room with Flew and Ty Boudreau. Mm-hmm. Like, that's got to be kind of a surreal thing to be able to have to latch onto and say, hey, there is a path for you, whether it's you want to go college, whether you want to go pro, whether you want to get to maybe the show or even get drafted. Like, there's a legit path to getting there. How big is that for a program like yours?
Yeah, I think it's huge, right? And it's not just our program, but it's like I said, we're fortunate. We have 3 pro players that work out with us all off season, right? So some of these kids, whether you're a junior high kid or a grade 10 kid, it doesn't mean it's not realistic. Like, there's guys that have done it and put in the work. I think our guys can lean on those guys for their experiences and ask them those questions. And it's a hard game, right? So it's like you're going to go through ups and downs and of emotions, and then all of a sudden it's like you're watching the World Baseball Classic, and like we said earlier, you get to go you're seeing Tugboat throw, and he's striking out Harper and Raleigh, and it's like, how can you not cheer for those guys? Because 2 summers ago, you're watching that guy, do the same thing to us in Sylvan Lake. But so I think, and Peters and some of these guys, I think it's just showing the game in our area and the development that's happening and the coaches that are around. There's the opportunities for these players, whether it be the training or baseball skill development is unbelievable. And it's a great game. And I think, it's the same thing. I'd imagine it's going to get bigger too with the success of the Blue Jays and all of that thing, right? It's a national thing. So it's very exciting as a kid for opportunities. And I think that if you look at the country of Canada, it's always been known as a hockey country, and it's very cool to see the growth in other sports, especially baseball.
Mm-hmm. Final question for you. When you look ahead to August, middle part of August there, what would it mean to you to finally bring home a WCBL championship to the Sylvan Lake Gulls?
Oh, man, it'd be amazing, because I think you literally you couldn't get any closer than we got last year. So I think it's just you're so close, and I just think you see the fans and the engagement and how bad they want it. So I think for our organization and community and everybody to be able to bring home a championship to Sylvan would mean it'd be that's the next step, right? That's the next step, and that's the goal, and that's something that we're going to strive for every year. So but it would mean a lot, and there's with all the background work that everybody does, I think it'd be pretty special to see that. But it's like I said, it's not going to be easy, and it's everyone's gunning and everyone's going for the same thing. And you look at the rosters that everybody's building, and it seems like the talent level's getting higher with every team. So it's like I think this season's going to be extremely, extremely challenging and extremely tough, and it's going to be a battle. And it's great. I think our league's in an awesome spot. I really do.
Hard to believe we're just 2 months away from the start of it all happening again. Jason, I can't not call you coach. Yep. Really appreciate you taking the time. Congrats on the new gig. Best of luck this coming summer.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me and all you guys do for baseball.
Thanks again to Colin Baxter, Aidan Marien, and Jason Chatwood for joining us this week, and thanks to all of you for downloading and listening. If you like this or any other episode of the show, be sure to leave us a rating and a review on your app, and make sure to hit subscribe, as we have new episodes every Thursday. Plus, we like to sprinkle in bonus episodes when big news happens. As always, a tip of the cap to our Platinum supporters, the Okotoks Dogs, Under the Light Sports and Entertainment, and the Western Canadian Baseball League for their generosity in helping us tell the game stories in our province. They help us cover costs like web hosting fees and online newspaper subscriptions, even travel. For more on our tremendous teammates, or if you'd like to help us out, head to albertadugoutstories.com/supporters. Until next time, thank you for all of your support online, on social, and on air of Alberta Dugout Stories.